with the Saudis getting into it and more. But I think something that's also going to affect everyone, and that can affect all of us kind of somewhat sitting comfortably at our computers right now, and that's called global goals. The alt media has been on top of this for a while. I know I've had people kind of tweeting this at me for a long time, but this was, I think, kind of its big coming out party with bells and whistles and music and fanfare. The United Nations launches their 2030 Agenda Blueprint for a united world. And we'll take this from Activist Post. Have you heard of the global goals? And if you hadn't, you're going to hear of them by now because they've laid it out. The United Nations launched a set of 17 ambitious goals that it plans to achieve over the next 15 years. The formal name of this new plan is the 2030 Agenda, but those behind it decided that they needed something catchier to promote these ideas to the general population. The UN has stated that these new global goals represent a new universal agenda for humanity. Virtually every nation on the planet has willingly signed on to this new agenda, and you're going to participate whether you like it or not. Some of the biggest stars in the entire world have been recruited to promote the global goals. There's a great cult video with lots of celebs you can wash your brain with, but there was also the Global Citizen Festival held in Central Park in New York this last Saturday, where some of the biggest names in the music industry promoted these new global goals. The feel-good event was timed to coincide, of course, with the annual gathering of world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly, #UNGA, featuring performances by the We'll Say Yes to Anything band with Beyonce and Pearl Jam and Coldplay and the usual suspects. And it wasn't just the entertainment industry that was promoting this new UN plan for a united world. That's right. Pope Francis traveled to New York to give the address that kicked off the conference where this new agenda was unveiled. So 17 is a lot of things, and we can't go over all of them here, but TruthStream Media kind of did a good bullet point, and they sort of did the easy translation of what they really mean with these 17 different goals. So, James, again, everything is linked. We implore people to go read all of these for themselves. I'm just going to pick my favorite of the 17 and mention it here. Goal number 7, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. And again, as TruthStream kind of notes, that means smart grid. That means smart meters. That means your fridge, the Internet of Things. It's going to monitor and track everything that you do. And it may seem neat because, I've got a good workout routine, or the fridge told me I'm out of milk, but it's going to be so much more. James.
Yes, and let me pick a couple of my favorites from this list. It's such mealy-mouthed, wishy-washy nothingness that, of course, you have to agree with the ideas of these goals. End poverty in all its forms everywhere. Who is against that idea? But the question is, how do you do that? And I think the translation from TruthStream Media is pretty apt. Centralized banks, IMF, World Bank, Fed to control all finances, digital one world currency, and a cashless society. Hey, end poverty! Wow, and now we'll control absolutely every aspect of the global financial architecture and monetary system. Or goal number 2, I think, was also pretty to the point. End hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture. Translation, GMO. Of course they're going to roll it out. Of course, we need these genetically modified monstrosities. They're so perfectly safe. And, by the way, yeah, the same interests that fueled the big industrial agricultural revolution of the 1960s are the same Rockefeller financial and interests that are funding the gene revolution of the biotech companies. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about all of that mess. It's all good. It's being promoted by the UN. What could possibly go wrong? Same crap, different name. I'm glad that a lot of people are already on board with this and already understand it, but please do help to spread this understanding before the global goals become the next must like a fashion accessory for the millennial crowd of support for, Facebook memes and things like that. That's what they're going to try. That's the way they're going to try to push this crap, and we have to come out against it as right from the beginning.